Hello, dear friends. This is Lady Sylvia, and I promised you I'd try to share some of my travels with you guys, and I hope you can see it. This is my iPad in front of you, and this is the Placa Real. It's actually like the royal place. In Catalonia, it's spelled differently. This is in Barcelona. It's a very popular place to eat. All around the perimeter, there's cafes and restaurants, which we did eat. And we had some great sangria and some great food. And we actually attended a flamenco show there. All these buildings are so wonderful, and so it's just a wonderful old feeling. There's the fountain in the center. And this is like, there's gargoyles all up here, and they are actually, I think, rain spouts, but they're shaped like strange things and people. And you could see the crowds. It was very hot in Spain, and I just thought that bridge was very, very beautiful. I'll try to take a better shot. There's the gargoyles, see? Really strange stuff. It was such a cool environment. I really just loved it. I can't remember exactly what this connects to. I think it connects into the Cathedral of Barcelona. It's just fantastic to be there. See, and then I tried to take a picture of the, these are at the arches, these angels. It's really, everything you see is just so old. And then look at these doors. Oh my God, everywhere you turn, there was some piece of history. This is the entrance to the Cathedral of Barcelona, and it's blocked off because you do have to buy a ticket, and it's over there on the other side, the office. It wasn't that expensive. But this cathedral, I think, was started in sometime around the 1000s, 1100s, and goes all the way through. It's just amazing, amazing. So all around in the inside were different alcoves. Each alcove was dedicated to a different saint and was beautifully done. Unfortunately, they had these big iron gates in front of every alcove. I don't know if that's been there since, whenever, the 1800s or whatever, to preserve each piece from being touched or anything. But anyway, I tried to shoot the best I could, but apparently these statues and paintings were all done by different guilds that were in Barcelona. So there's different paintings, beautifully done, of course, centuries ago, but each was dedicated to a different guild, the woodcarver guild, I don't know, this guild or that guild, but that's what we were told. It was really beautiful though. And this is a view down the choir. I think this is what they call the choir. There's like seating there or something. It is really incredibly beautiful. Just so old. And that's a view down the choir again. More seating. Of course, there wasn't a mass going on there. You could see how deep the building is. And of course, down under here are crypts where they buried, like, I guess, priests and higher officials and I think, soldiers and knights of old. It was very, very beautiful. Look at this place. It just is just so incredibly old and beautiful. You can see the light coming through the nave up there. It was really, really beautiful. Now we're in the cloister. So you step outside the church, let's say, and you're in the cloister. So you're in the outdoors with the covered. These are called, I guess they called it the cloister. And all these paving stones are not really paving stones. They're graves. Some of them going back into the 1500s. It was really, really amazing. This is a fountain with St. George killing the dragon. Very cool. There's another fountain with it was very beautiful and peaceful and wonderful there. It was just amazing sense of peace. And there's the white doves that are dedicated to Saint Eulalia, who the Cathedral of Barcelona is dedicated to. let me try to shut off this light in the background so you don't get that thing. Hold on. Okay. So those are the 12, there's always 12 or 13 geese they keep in the courtyard dedicated to her. And this is the facade. Look at this facade. This is 18th century. And this is the facade of the hotel we stayed in, the Hotel Arai. And this is in the Gothic Quarter. But the inside of the building, this is all 18th century, but the inside of the building is all refurbished and done up modern. And then look at these doorways. Everywhere you looked, there was something, something so incredible. And then when we walked outside of the cathedral, on the other side, there was this flea market. And I was like, oh, well, let's go check that out. And look what they had. They had silver. They had everything, jewelry and all kinds of really ancient stuff, not like what you find in America. This stuff, you can find stuff that dates back 200, 300 years. I just took a shot of these belt buckles and this silver in the background. It was really kind of amazing. And there you see the crosses. They had such beautiful religious antiques you couldn't believe. I mean, there's all kinds of jewelry. There's a dress, it looks like a belt buckle. All kinds of, look at that peacock pin. There was bracelets of sterling. Oh my God, it was so beautiful. So there's the pieces that I bought. And that's the Our Lady of the Pillar, the Immaculate Conception in gilt bronze, and there's the antique rosary that I bought. So I think this is going towards La Rambla. Now the La Rambla is all torn up. I don't know what they're doing, whether they're building something, but pretty much most of it is not passable anymore. We kind of gave up. Everything was under construction. But that's okay, because it's really kind of no big deal. So anyway, we boarded the cruise boat, and we had a pretty nice room. It had a balcony. And this is on Norwegian Breakaway, I think it was called. And it was very, very nice room, very comfortable, very pretty. I took some pictures of the inside of the cabin. Okay, so now I think this is on the outskirts of Ibiza, I think. And it had all these islands were dominated by, for 700 years, the Moors, the Arabs from Africa dominated Spain, and they built these fantastic fortifications. And then they were, of course, taken over in 1492 after what they call the Reconquista. And that was when Ferdinand and Isabella, the famous duo who paid for Columbus, who discovered America, they decided to kick all the Africans out of Spain and, basically force them to either convert. They also did this to the Jews. You either convert or, they ixnayed you, if you know what I mean. So there was a lot of beautiful, beautiful fortifications. And hold on, let me try to get rid of that. And a lot of beautiful stuff. But Ibiza was not my favorite place. But it is a beautiful, it's an island. Okay, so then this was the town of St. Eulalia. We went up into the mountains of Ibiza, and there was a beautiful black Madonna. And there is a Madonna in the mountains near Barcelona, I think, called Montserrat. And there they have a black virgin that she's really, really important. And so Our Lady of Montserrat, and she's really beautiful. And here she's represented again. And they had her even with real lace and fabric. It was really beautiful. It's a tiny little chapel. This was a small little church. And, we didn't go into Ibiza's famous for its discotheques and all this stuff, and we're not interested in any of that. Now we're in Palma de Mallorca, which has a beautiful town called Valdemosa. I mentioned it in the video yesterday. Okay, so now look at the streets. They're beautiful. They're shaded by these beautiful ancient trees, and there's, you know, restaurants and marketplaces all around. There's me and my husband. And thank God I didn't really need the cane, but we did so much walking in super hot weather. So I was really glad to have the cane so I didn't stumble. And this is how the streets looked. Look at these old buildings. Everywhere you look, this is all limestone on the streets and limestone buildings with deep, deep, inside the width of the building was like 3 feet, 4 feet to keeps the heat out, and the interiors of the buildings are much cooler. I just thought that was insanely amazing. And then look, see the limestone on the floors. It was nice and shady on one side and hot on the other. See, and these old buildings, these are really old. And look at how they have it. I mean, it's just really amazing. I just couldn't believe how old this town was. And apparently this dates back to the time of the Moors, because Valdemosa is the valley of the mayor in Arabic. So look at this. It's just so beautiful. And every house has this little, they have a different saint on the front door, by the front door. And I don't speak Catalan, but I imagine this is Santa Catalina of Thomas, pray for us. So I just couldn't believe it. It was on, they see this everywhere, on every house. I didn't want to, take pictures of everybody's house, but. So this was a church. This was dedicated, can't remember which saint exactly it was, but this was really beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful inside. There's the inside of that church. It was really beautiful. And look at how everyone has flowers growing everywhere. This is the town we're taking pictures looking up the mountain. So apparently they told us that, Leonardo DiCaprio and Nicole Kidman, they have houses up here in these private villas. And our driver told us that he saw Leonardo DiCaprio walking barefoot with no shirt on, walking down the street. And they don't want that anymore. This town doesn't want, like we saw, we were walking down that street that I just showed you a picture of, and we were on our way towards the church, and there was this girl, we're walking down here, and this girl, she's walking down, she's got a bathing suit on, a thong bathing suit with a net, completely see-through dress, and she's walking towards the church. I thought that was very disrespectful. So this Palma de Mallorca, they've had it with tourists and the disrespect. So they're saying, no more walking around naked, no more walking in places, that are, especially the house of God, which I 100% agree. If you, many places ask you to cover your shoulders, don't wear short shorts, with your butt crack hanging out. I totally agree with that. I would never disrespect somebody's house of worship, whether you're Jewish or Islamic. Like if you go to Istanbul, you have to take your shoes off, and you have to, ladies have to cover their hair. So I bought a scarf and I covered my head. You have to be respectful. You're not in America. You're not, you have to be respectful, especially in places of worship. And so they've changed their rules. Now this is a castle. The guy told us the castle was closed. We thought it was going to be open. But he said that, I think it was Louis Vuitton or one of those big, elite labels had a party there to show their latest collection of jewelry or something. And they had like 600 people in this castle. And apparently all the jewelry sold out, whatever. And there's me. So I just wanted to show you, not I'm showing off, but I'm happy I lost that 60 pounds. But there's the bracelet that I bought in Mallorca. And I'm wearing my white South Sea pearls and my long string of coin pearls, which I bought from my friend Anna at Vintage Jewelry Galore. So, and that outfit was from Chico's, and I actually was going to throw it away. Imagine that. I was going to throw it away because I'd gained so much weight I couldn't wear it. So I was kind of happy that I could wear it again, and that made me happy. And there I am. I'm on the cruise ship, and I actually am wearing a necklace that I did buy from Anna, and it is gold freshwater pearls with a bone. It's not a clasp. You put this over your head, but it is 3 little kitty cats carved in bone, and I just fell in love with it. And I bought it from her quite a while ago, so I was really happy to wear it. My husband calls me his golden girl. He's so sweet. God bless him. So there's my husband having his drink. And so we went back to Barcelona after the cruise was over, and we went to visit the Museum of Barcelona. And believe it or not, the whole town of Barcelona was built over Roman ruins. So when they excavated the building that they were going to build this museum on, they discovered all these Roman ruins underneath. So actually all this is plexiglass. You're walking on top of plexiglass, and this is all the ruins, Roman ruins. It was just absolutely amazing. And then, like, there's a corridor that comes out, and you're in a church. Part of the Cathedral of Barcelona, parts of it go back to the Middle Ages, and all of a sudden you're in this chapel they said was dedicated to Saint Agnes. So look at this. I mean, it's just, you look through this is in the museum, and you could see that you're on the other side of the cathedral. So now we've left the museum, and you walk out. Remember I told you, walk out, and suddenly you're in a plaza, and you're in this, surrounded by medieval buildings, and there's people there having a coffee, or people drink, I'm telling you, they drink a lot of beer. I noticed everybody's drinking beer. So people are out there, it's a hot day, and they're drinking a cold beer or whatever, and it was just beautiful. I just thought everything was so beautiful. And then we walked down another corridor, and there's another chapel. And look at this. I couldn't photograph the whole thing. It's so big. But it is a tempera retablo painting on, I think it was tempera painting, and it's all different scenes of the life of Christ. So I tried to get close up onto it. There's the adoration of the Magi, all these different saints and stuff. Oh, it's really beautiful. Look at that. It's really beautiful. And there's that plaza again. And there's my husband walking down the narrow streets. I just wanted to give you a perspective of what it's like. It's just everywhere you look, there's something more unusual. You're just walking by and look at these doors. And then we walk down another street and look at this. Look at these balconies and these vistas, how the streets narrow. Okay, so this is where we come upon a parade. This was June 22nd. Turns out, let me see if I can pause this for a second. So it turns out, believe it or not, 2 things. They called this the parade of Corpus Christi. That means the body of Christ, which we couldn't figure out what does this gigantic mannequins dressed up like kings, and then they called it the Valley of the Giants. I don't know what that is. And so I kind of figure that all these different mannequins or giant things, there's a man in each one of them. They're beautifully painted, by the way. They represent different kings that were important to Barcelona, and also the different, I guess, conquerors of, and from the Romans, the Phoenicians, they all conquered Barcelona, and these are the representations of them. And then they played all this strange music, and Well, I'll try to unmute this. My husband shot this because I forgot my camera, believe it or not. There's a guy in there. Now these ladies, I don't know what they represent, but they're holding wreaths of real flowers, and then they all have this beautiful lace collar. I don't know what part of Barcelona they represent, but they're just a few of what's coming. See the lace that they're wearing around their shoulders? And then there's musicians. Perhaps this is from different guilds. Here comes more stuff. And this stuff comes from their ancient roots, both pagan and Catholic, Christian. This is just amazing. Look at this horse, a guy on this horse. They've got these people all in costume. Oh, here comes a bull. A guy dressed up in a bull costume. Look at this. This is so amazing. Unfortunately, you get tourists walking in front of the camera. But look at this. Oh my God. If someone from Spain can explain this further, I would love it. We were just so delighted. Now here comes some other giant costumes. Look at this. I don't know what that flag means, that banner. Then here, now look at this. I've never seen anything like this in my life. See, now this guy stops, he's overheated, so he takes a drink of water and the other guy goes inside the costume. Look. Unbelievable. So now, here's a dragon. Look. And he's got a basket of real flowers in his mouth. And it seems like all of these must represent something. Some community, some town. Look at that, he goes right up to the camera. Because each person, I'm not sure, represents some kind of something. Here's a dragon, like a mythical creature. Look at this. What does this all mean? I don't know. But it was so, imagine just, we were going to go to dinner and then we'd stumble on this parade. This was phenomenal. I was so excited. I couldn't believe this. I've never seen this in my life. Anything like this. It's all based in some kind of ancient something. And then let's see what this one is. guy looks like a Roman soldier coming up. And you see, each guy has a wife, you know, has some kind of female. See? It's like, I don't know, is he Phoenician? What is he? I would love to know what each, and you see each sector comes up and they represent something else. I have no idea what all this is. Now look at this guy. This guy looks like a Phoenician king. See the big curly beard? Is he some kind of king? Obviously he's a king. And look at his wife. And these are all paper mache. Beautifully painted, unbelievable. Oh, here comes, what is this? This is like a fish? Yeah, like a dolphin. Oh, and he shoots water. So he shoots water at the kids. Yes, he was spraying water. So crazy. Let's see what this is. And here's another giant. And see, everybody's dressed differently, and different dances, different music. I don't know what it all means, but it was so amazing. Look at this. You know, you go on vacation, you don't expect to see this. Look at that. Is he supposed to be a Roman? Is she supposed to be a Roman lady? I don't know. She's got a fan in her hands. Look how big they are. These statues were gigantic. Okay, so now the police have come. The police come to escort. This is now the church, and this is like different sections of the church, and they're carrying a religious relic on a big platform, and I don't know what that means, but. I don't know what the relic is supposed to mean or carry, but it was still very solemn. Now it becomes all of this, you know, the hoopla is over. Now it's a very solemn procession. And the many different types of, I guess, monsignors and the different sections. See, these are dressed like monks, and then they're all representing perhaps a section or a church. So, let me see. Oh, so now this is just a photograph of, there were these, I guess, altar boys, and they're swinging the frankincense and myrrh from those, see, down at here, you could see he's swinging the perfume or whatever. It's really smoky. It smelled nice, though. And then they carry the religious relic. So there it is. There's the religious. I don't know what that is, but it was very sacred. You know, it's a great honor, I guess, to carry this thing. And beautiful fresh flowers everywhere. It was just amazing. And then on the side of one of the churches, we saw they had this altar set up, and with a beautiful picture of Jesus and fresh flowers. And then the sacrificial wine and the bread, you know, representing the body of Christ. And I guess people could pray. There was a chair to kneel and pray. But as soon as this was over, they took everything down. So then we went walking into this beautiful, very, very chic, they sold house goods and they also sold clothing. I bought a really cool caftan there. But as I went deeper into the building, I noticed that this looked very like ancient walls, ancient ceilings, and there was a sign saying that this was built where the Jews used to hide out. Look at how beautiful. So now we go into this building. Like I said to you yesterday, there was looked like a regular storefront. But my husband noticed this thing in the back, and he said, he asked the guy, can we just go in? And he said, yeah, sure. It was like an exhibit dedicated to the Catalonian art of making clothes out of paper. So I wanted to show you, believe it or not, everything you see here is paper, with the exception of maybe some beads and stuff, but all of the clothing. Look at this gown. It is all paper. Look at that. It's hard to believe. You know, you look at it and you go, oh my God, it's fabric. Nope, it's not. Paper. It is all paper. Look at this costume. This is all made from shredded paper. I mean, but they make it so elegant. Look at this. This looks like something from an opera. It is absolutely stunning, and it's all paper. Look at this. I just couldn't believe it. And we just walked in. There's that gown. And it tells you, embroidered with braid and pearls entirely by hand. Over 3,000 sequins adorn the skirt and the sleeves. The body of the outfit is all paper. Just unbelievable. This is, I think, a child's dress or a young adult. Look at this, another theatrical costume made from paper. And the trims are, you know, beadwork and whatever. There's this dress here. So now we left there, and look at these incredible, everywhere, like I said, you walk down the street and I look up and I'm like, oh my God, look at this incredible balcony. Just absolutely magical. So remember I told you that the lamps, even the lamps in the streets are beautiful. Look at this. I wasn't lying. Everywhere you go, it was just a magical place. It was really beautiful. So I think that's the end of my tour, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that someday you guys would get to go to Barcelona. And if you want to, like I said, read a little bit of this magical city, I do recommend you can buy that book, The Shadow of the Wind. It was originally in Spanish, but it's been translated to English. You won't regret it. It's available on Amazon. It's also in Kindle form. It's an amazing book. He was a magical writer, just stupendous. I'm going to read all of his books. I absolutely think his name was Carlos Ruiz Zafón, Z-A-F-O-N. Anyway, my friends, I hope you enjoyed my little trip. I missed you all, so I wanted to take you on this trip with us. I really hope you enjoyed it. God bless you all. Take care. Bye-bye.